So, fam, this is tough, man, because past couple of days I've just been really thinking about something, and it's really pressing on me. It's really tough to discuss, but there's a need. So, yesterday I had the opportunity to hear a young lady. It was an awesome experience. Hear a young lady share her story about how she was sexually abused. Um, Brothers, it changed my life completely. It just made me think about different things. She even went as far as to say about how there are certain men who are in those settings, in these particular settings where women are sharing their stories about how they're sexually abused, about how there's certain men in these settings who are preying even on women there. Now, I open up saying that because, and I want to emphasize something too. This is not a male bashing moment. It's not. This is personal. It's internal. It's also external as well. So myself, I was exposed to sexuality at an early age, at a very early age. Parents didn't know. I don't think they knew. And I was sneaking. I was exposed to an early age, and I can't help but think about how it shaped and formulated my mind at an early age. And man, what it did to me just at such a young age, right? I'm not giving you the age, let's just say barely close to 2 digits. I'll leave it at that. So with that being said, man, it's just, I'm telling you guys, and I'm kind of sound like I'm rambling, but I'm really not. Everywhere I go, turn on the TV, commercials, videos, going to the gym, and I know that's a subject in and of itself. It's all around us, and I'm thinking about us as men in particular, man. And hold up, and I'm not just talking to the guy who's might not be in a relationship with Christ. This is for the body of believers as well too. So I'm talking to the church when I say this, that us as men, man, everywhere we go, we're exposed to it, and there's like a radical thing going on with this whole thing about sexuality and stuff, and and what you have a right to do and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not dogging or trying to bash anybody's rights to do anything at all. I'm just thinking about from the concept of how we're exposed to so much and what it does and what it can do to us. And so it's just crazy how much exposure there is out there. So now, brothers, I'm going to take a radical approach. Again, I'm going to sound like I'm all over the place. I just really want for us to take a radical approach in really dealing with this particular topic. Y'all know, fellas, we sit in these groups and we have discussions. We're at the church and we do all these things in these small little groups. And yeah, we might say certain things, but there are many of us who are not really transparent in those spaces to such a degree that we want to expose ourselves and be completely vulnerable to the thoughts and opinions of other guys in those groups. Man, we need a radical approach. Even myself in opening up, talking about it, I was hesitant to say the age that I was when I was first exposed to sexuality, because I'm thinking about who can hear this and who's going to think and what their opinions about it. I was 8 years old, 8, when I was first experienced this thing about sex beyond the classroom or sex education, whatever. 8, I was exposed to it. Now, again, personal and external. I know I'm not by myself when I say that. And I know I'm not by myself when I say that how men, we've allowed these to shape our ideology and shape how we are towards women and shape how we are towards our wives and shape how we are towards our daughters and even shape how we're towards our moms and stuff like that. When it comes to our sexuality, it's crazy what we've done. Somebody said something to me and dealing with my sexuality has completely changed my life. Somebody made a comment about looking at pornography. And someone said this to me, not necessarily to me personally, but I remember this phrase. They said this: what would you do if you put on pornography and you see your daughter? Changed my life. Changed my life when I heard that. What if I cut on a pornography video and my daughter was on there? Brothers, what if you cut on a pornography video and your sister is on there? Man, it just blew me away thinking about that. Now I'm going to go a step further. With this. When we think about the dealings that we do when it comes to pornography and sexuality and stuff like that, oftentimes we think about the effects that it can have on us personally, and we think how that affects it can even have on the person that we're doing it with, whether if it's, sexual acts or pictures or whatever. Sometimes we think about that particular person in the moment, but do we think about how it can affect them for the rest of their life too, about how it can shape their ideology, and when it comes to how they might even treat their own children? Do we think about that? Man, I'm telling you, brothers, it's time to take a radical approach. It's not a beat up session or anything like that. And I didn't mean to go this long, man, but it's time for us to take a radical approach and really dealing with this as a body of believers. I want to emphasize, I'm not even talking about those who might not profess to know Christ, let alone, I know they're in this category too, but man, us as a body of believers, let's take a radical approach. Lord, what do you mean a radical approach? My partner would say this: what's the plan of action in dealing with this? I don't know the exact plan, but I do know this: there needs to be a plan. And for me, my plan personally is that I'm going to really start talking about it. I'm going to really start dealing with. And here's the thing: not from a negative view, not from a negative perspective, anything like that, but I want to come with a positive spin or a positive twist to it for us to realize and know, man, when we do attack this thing, how much healing and how much blessings and what it could do for all of us and our families and everywhere. Man, so I'm getting pumped and I'm talking with my hands. I want us to take that approach and realize what it can cause. The positive stuff. Now, I ain't want to beat up every man and tell men how horrible they are. And you've been this, you're not that. If we could just fix the man, it would fix everything. Nah, it's not that. Ain't that type of hype, ain't that type of story. But I do want to say this, man, that when we decide to say enough is enough, and think about the impact it can have on other people. And again, I'm starting with this as a man because y'all know that's my passion. Really think about that. When I really think about it, man, I want us to be radical with our approach. Heck, the world is radical about showing us sexuality, pornography, and all that kind of stuff. The world is radical about all that stuff. And we get so that it's, we can't talk about it, or in the body of Christ, we can't talk about it. We can't discuss it. It's like, hands off or whatever. Now, I don't really talk about it. We can kind of graze on it and stuff and talk around it, but we can't really get in the heat of that because that's not the church's responsibility or whatever. No, I beg to differ, it is. And here's the thing: somebody's waiting for us to talk about it. Well, I'm talking about it. I'm tired of seeing us as men, our men of God, our pastors, our leaders, our deacons, our husbands, our fathers, man. I'm tired of us falling to this, man, and we don't need to fall to it anymore because we're strong. We're tough, man. We're men. We're tough. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm not trying to give you a pep talk. We're tough men. Let's do it, man. Let's handle it. So let's get radical with our approach. And for me, I'm starting out really, really talking about exposing. It's like a science project. I remember being in school and, and even going through medical stuff in the military. I remember that, certain things you couldn't expose because if it was exposed, it would kill the organism, and we didn't want it to die, due to the exposure. This organism, sexuality and all stuff, I want it to die. I want it to end because I know this is a key step for us when it comes to us healing our communities and our families, the body of believers. I know that it is. So, yeah, it's my radical approach to it. So anyway, love you guys so much, man. Let's go at it. Love you guys. Peace.